Alright, Screaming Demons RC, SDRC in the shop tonight. Got a parts review to do and install on the Promoto here. That's the VITAVON SDRC Promoto. This bike's all decked out. You've probably been watching the videos on the build series of this. And we've got one more part to install. Right here we've got the V1 version 1 scratch bar from VITAVON. Well, we've got the new set out here. This is the V2. What we've got here is thicker bars. They don't flex as much, which is better in my opinion. And yeah, just a bit different of a design, but the main feature is they're stronger and thicker posts here. The bars are thicker, so they're going to last longer before they wear out, and they are also going to give you a stiffer feel, so when the bike falls on the side, they don't flex up and lean out on a different angle that you don't want them on. So in my opinion, that's going to be better. Let's get this package unpackaged and open it up and show you what we got in here. All right, let's get the stuff out of the package. What do we got here? So we've got the two scratch bars and the mounts, aluminum mounts, 7075 aluminum, beautiful pieces machined. Here's your extra bars for when you would do eventually wear through these big thick ones. It's going to take a while, I would imagine, unless you're running on the road all the time. These are going to wear pretty good. I believe that they are, don't quote me on this, but I think they are nylon with something in it too. It's not just nylon. It might be fiberglass strands in there too, I'm not sure, but it's good stuff. Anyway, here's the mounts. There's a right and a left one. It shows you on the side here. Hold on, get up close. You can see VITAVON, and there's a, over on this side over here, there's an L right there. So this is the left side, and it also, on the other end, it has an L on this part too. I'll try and get the light on that. Focus. There's an L on there also. So this is the left side, meaning that this is the right side. So yeah, you can see there, VITAVON with the R right there. And same with the other side. I'll flip it around. You can see the R is right there in the center screen. So how I put these on, I'll show you how I put them on, but the R and the L should be able to be read properly when it's mounted to the bike. So that's the proper way to put them. Basically sitting in this position there when you look at them. So I'll get them on the bike, and I'll show you the weights of them compared to all the other parts. I'll compare them to these ones, and I'll show you the weights compared to the V1, and I'll also give you the weights compared to the original wheels, training wheels we call them. I'll give you the weights of the original ones compared to these new V2s. And also they come with this new standoff. I'll get that out of the package, just one second. This new standoff that goes into your crash structure pivot point right here. That's what that screw is right there. There's a shaft that goes through there. This new shaft from VITAVON will replace that shaft in there, so make sure you do that. And yeah, it should go together pretty smooth. I'll give you any tips along the way that I come across and I figure you need to know. So let's get these weighed up, and I'll show you the weights, and I'll get them put on. Alright, I've got the V2 scratch bars all installed here. You can see they mount up here, center screen, with those two M4 screws right there in the VITAVON mount. That's the left side mount at the back of the bike. The hoop wraps around to the front. And then these front ones are mounted with two M4 screws. One is at the bottom, you can see, center screen there. And the other screw is inside of this. So first of all, you got to take the screw right here out, take this hoop out, put the screw that goes into this inside of there. It's a countersunk screw. It goes into the crash structure bar. There's a standoff that goes through here. VITAVON gives you a new standoff that goes with these, so it's threaded on both sides of the standoff, so that these can thread on. And they're pretty straightforward and simple to do. And I tell you, they're a lot stiffer than the V1, which are right over here. Hold on one sec. I have them right handy still. And you can see the difference in size of the tubing is a lot different. And the V1s are flexible. I think they're okay for a stock bike with the lightness of a stock bike. The V1 bars would be okay, but my bike is pretty heavy, and the V1 bars were just kind of bending and flexing upward as the bike would fall over, and it was hard for me to get the bike going again once it was on its side. I have a modified tire here. You can see this tire is very gnarly. It's got knobbies all added to it. I've glued on, vulcanized them on there with some glue, and they're on there good. I've only had a couple of knobs rip off from that style, but they're working really good. I really like aggressive tires, and the tires from VITAVON weren't aggressive enough for me. I'm going to actually talk with them and see if they can make a bit more aggressive tire for everyone out there on the market, something more like a TerraFlex. If you know a lot about motorcycles and off-road bikes, you might recognize the TerraFlex name. Anyway, enough about those. Back to the crash bars. Let's flip this bike around to the other side. We'll spin it around. I'll show you this side. I didn't want to put on my the rad shrouds or the number plates on the sides until I got this video done, so I could show you guys exactly how these mount up. Okay, here you can see the other mount at the back. There's the VITAVON brand in there. Same thing, 2 countersunk M4 screws hold these on at the back. Here's the bar, comes around and mounts at the front here. Same thing, 2 4 millimeter M4 countersunk screws hold these on. And yeah, they're pretty straightforward and simple. One thing I did here, the screw that holds this one on, I shortened it a bit because I put the head on this side. Right there you can see the head of the screw, and the threads were sticking out on the other side just a bit, and they were butting up against my transmission case housing here, and I didn't want to scratch it or mar it up, so I just shortened that screw a couple, well, about a millimeter, just enough so it clears the casing well. Anyway, I'm gonna ramble on if I don't stop doing this video, so thanks for watching. Hopefully you got something out of that, and if you want some scratch bars to get rid of those original training wheels in the Promoto, check these out from VITAVON. I'll leave a link in the description for VITAVON's website there and on eBay. And yeah, thanks again. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already, so you don't miss any of the action on these builds we do in the shop here. And thanks again for watching. We'll talk to you real soon. Screaming Demons RC, SDRC, we're out.